Discover the inspiring journey of Dr. Catherine Nakalembe, a visionary scientist whose groundbreaking work is transforming agriculture and food security across Africa and beyond.
My name is Catherine Nakalembe, and I'm a satellite food security specialist. I use satellite data to map and monitor crops and then work to make sure that information can be used by decision makers and organizations that support farmers. I primarily focus on Africa: Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Zambia, Mali, Senegal. Last time I checked, there were over 8,000 satellites observing our Earth. They take pictures every day. You can use those images to map what crops are growing where, how much it's going to rain, where the system might be coming from, where it might be impacted, and how badly it might be impacted. I can just sit on my computer and tell you anywhere in the world. Rainfall, drought, floods, name it. I can tell you where it is. We have tons of information, tons of data about what's happening. We're living in a fantastic age. We have huge advances with AI. We're able to process a lot more data and information. The problem is when you look deeply at any place, you start to see problems with a lot of the existing products. They're not tailored to the on-the-ground contexts. Sometimes it's simply that the data is just wrong. A lot of the models are trained very well to predict for European or US agriculture. In Europe, most of the farms have like a single crop. They're really big and it's very easy to model. In Kenya, in Uganda, in Rwanda, however, the fields are so tiny. They have so many different crops in them and farmers do things so differently. It's like a tapestry. With those images, fields are misrepresented. So there are places where there are no crops but are labeled as crops. There are places where there should be crops and people that are completely missing. When you go and try to assess something for the ministry and you use that as input, you're basically feeding them garbage.
Born and raised in Kampala, Uganda, Catherine's roots are grounded in resilience and hands-on problem-solving values she learned early from her father, a self-taught car mechanic, and her mother, who ran a local restaurant. These early lessons fueled a passion that would take her from the heart of Africa to the forefront of global scientific innovation.
I'm the Africa Program Director for NASA Harvest, which is NASA's Agriculture and Food Security Initiative, and the Agriculture and Food Security Thematic Lead for a NASA program called SEVERE, which is an applied sciences program that intends to increase capacity on the utilizations of Earth observations globally. This is a really cool question. I always think about the astronaut standing in the maize field, but to kind of put it in the most simple way, the first Earth observing satellites, basically satellites that are in space collecting data on Earth, started in the 70s. And what this opens up is the fact that we can look at all places on the Earth consistently with the same kind of eyes.
After earning a BSc in environmental science from Makerere University in 2007, Catherine's journey led her to the United States, where she completed an MSc at Johns Hopkins University and later a PhD in geographical science from the University of Maryland in 2017. Today, she is an associate research professor at the University of Maryland and the director of NASA's Harvest Africa program.
Just briefly talking about Harvest is NASA's Agriculture and Food Security program. It's run out of the University of Maryland where I work. And the idea of the program is to make satellite data useful, available, accessible, and useful really for informing agriculture and food security decisions. I lead our Africa program, and we work on developing systems where people can access and use satellite data from pretty much anywhere and can focus in on their own region and analyze, for example, crop conditions, and can make their own summary reports. We spend a lot of time working on developing the data sets that go in those systems. So information on like crop type, crop condition, forecasting yield. And to do that, we have to improve the methods. We have more and more satellite satellite data products that become available. There are better methods for doing this, being able to forecast as well as improve historical assessments. And then we work a lot on transferring this information and knowledge that we gain through developing the systems as well as the methods into institutions that need them. So we work to develop capacity, working with a lot of organizations in Sub-Saharan Africa. We work with universities with whom we develop some of our research on our approaches, and all of these things kind of come together through strengthened partnerships. So each one of us has a role to play in trying to find real useful questions that our partners want to be able to get answers for.
And is this what you pictured you would be doing when you grew up, when you were a kid, and becoming amazing at it?
No, actually not. When I was growing up, I played a lot of badminton. I guess I could say that I wanted to be maybe a coach, because I don't think you can play badminton forever. I guess after 25 you can't continue playing badminton as well as, I guess, a gold medalist. But anyways, I thought that I was going to do sports science when I finished my high school, and I applied to it, but then ended up getting into the environmental science program, and that led me on a path towards using GIS and remote sensing, and this brought a few things that I really enjoyed while I was in my high school. So working with computers that I'd just been exposed to, looking at geographic information systems, making maps, and then the best part is being able to go out in the field.
What sets Dr. Nakalembe apart is her pioneering use of satellite technology and artificial intelligence to predict crop failures before they happen. By harnessing the power of space-based data and machine learning, she creates cutting-edge tools that monitor crops, provide early warnings for droughts and floods, and deliver vital, data-driven insights to policymakers. Her work directly supports African governments building technical capacity to integrate remote sensing into national decision-making processes, empowering them to protect millions from hunger and climate-related disasters. Her innovations don't just save crops, they save lives. Through NASA's Harvest Africa initiative, Catherine is at the forefront of climate adaptation, disaster risk reduction, and sustainable food security on the continent. Her extraordinary impact has earned her prestigious accolades. The Africa Food Prize in 2020.
Initially, when I guess satellite systems were being built, they were meant to look out, to look into space and see what's out there. But then, like in the 70s, there were some of the initial land monitoring systems that focused to look back down on Earth. And with these data, we can distinguish between, for example, forests and water and pasture, which is what we call land cover. And when you go further down, now that you know that when you look at a satellite image, a picture of the Earth, you know that this is crop.
The GEO Individual Excellence Award, the Al Sumait Prize for African Development, and Uganda's Golden Jubilee Medal in 2022. She has also been recognized among Forbes Africa's 50 most powerful women and named a TED Fellow in 2025. Dr. Catherine Nakalembe's story is a powerful testament to the impact of science, technology, and determination, showing how one woman's vision can harness the stars to nurture the Earth and feed the future.